I generally like Michael Moore's films. I know he's supposed to be really controversial and all that, and I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but I find his films to be entertaining and at least somewhat educational. What I found to be true about them for the most part, though, is you have to pick and choose what you take away from the films. With the case of Capitalism, a love story, there were plenty of things that he said or pointed out throughout the film that I didn't necessarily agree with, and that's okay. But there were things in the film that made me think, and there were things in the film that I didn't know were happening out there in the world, and I feel more educated for knowing about them than for not knowing about them. Does it mean I'm going to blindly follow everything Michael Moore says and do everything he tells me to do and think the way that he thinks? No, it doesn't. But it certainly did cause me to think, and I think that's always a good thing for any documentary film. The problem, of course, is that some people don't look at it that way. They either watch a film, they love it, or hate it. I don't know that that's necessarily the best way to watch a documentary, but I'm not here to tell you how to watch a film. I can say that Capitalism, a Love Story, is a very entertaining film. I guarantee you will be surprised by some of the things that you learn, and I think it's something of an important film to watch. I don't know that I agree with Moore's kind of, take on the fact that capitalism needs to fall and that it's evil and that it's causing all the problems in the world. I don't know that I necessarily fall in line with that, but there certainly were some just atrocious things happening that I don't agree with, and I'm glad that now that I know about them, I am a little more informed in how I make my decisions about the socio-political future of our country. Now, the Capitalism, a Love Story is available on both Blu-ray and DVD, and I got both of them to review, and for the most part, they're not too different. If you have a Blu-ray player, of course, I always recommend going Blu-ray, but if you don't have it, you're not missing out on much in terms of the DVD. Picture quality on the film is good, but Michael Moore movies aren't really what you would watch a Blu-ray for. It's not reference quality. You're not getting really vibrant colors that leap off the screen or that kind of 3D image that you sometimes can get with a really great transfer. The film looks good. People are clear. Flesh tones are natural. You can see what's going on. I really don't need much more than that from a documentary in this style. You also do get a Dolby True HD 5.1 surround soundtrack on the Blu-ray, and it's good for what it is. Again, most of the film is kind of interviews with people. There is some on-set or some live footage, on-scene footage, where Moore goes out into the world and tries to catch people in the streets and things like that. And you do get a little bit of ambiance there, but for the most part, this is a pretty straightforward mix. It's people talking, and you can hear them all clearly. So again, that's really all I need. Now, in terms of special features, the Blu-ray does come with one Blu-ray exclusive, and it is Harvard professor Elizabeth Warren on how Wall Street got away with murder. And basically, all of the extra features on this disc are just like extra material that Moore cut out of the film. It's basically like a second film, actually. There's probably about a dozen deleted sequences included in the extra features, and most of them are pretty long, 5 to 10 minutes each. So by the time you're done watching all of them, it's almost like you get a whole nother film from Michael Moore, just without all the cohesive narration and kind of archival footage mixed in to make it one kind of feature film that plays through from start to finish. But it's a lot of extra material. If you like Moore, you like the movie, you're certainly going to want to watch this stuff. In addition, the Blu-ray includes something the DVD doesn't. That's a digital copy of the film for your portable media devices. And I think this is actually the type of film that works for. Since it's not such a visually based film, this is the type of movie I could watch on a laptop screen or an iPhone and not feel like I was really missing out on too much. So ultimately, Capitalism, a Love Story, it will probably only be watched by people who already know that they don't hate Michael Moore. But I think it's a great film. It's worth watching. It's really enjoyable. And again, you kind of have to take away from it what you take away from it. But as long as it makes you think about something, then I think it did its job. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a recommended stamp.